Hey everybody, it's Shiny. It is Monday, May 19th. Let's start out the video by making somebody very happy. That person will be, drumroll, Mr. Fabulous! You didn't win. But here's the thing. Yesterday you were complaining about, oh, well, I have to sit through an 8-minute bullshit video so I could try to find out if I won or not. You don't have to do that now. You already know right from the start you didn't win. You can do other stuff with your time. If you don't watch it, I won't be offended. That's very, very cool. You've got your world ahead of you. You have paths to pick. Go forth and explore, buddy. That's pretty much it. You didn't win. Other people did. So, as for the rest of you, I actually made something very painstakingly long. That's what she said. This is a video. It tells you all the answers to it. I'm kind of long-winded in it, but hopefully you'll have some fun with it. So, let's roll it.
Let's start with number one. Number one is a college campus somewhere in the U.S. Now, most college campuses look very similar, but this one I was looking for what that little central little round thing was in between the three buildings, and that is what's called the Old Well at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Now, this is pretty well known if you know the UNC Chapel Hill logo, which you can see over here. That old well is part of it, and that's just a staple of this. I used to work at the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill from 1996 to 1998. Absolutely beautiful campus, absolutely beautiful area, probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever lived. Number two was an easy one. This is a St. Louis Arch. This is one of the first pictures I gleaned from Google Maps. As you can see, it's just taken from straight up, looking straight down, but that shadow just gives it the flair to it. So I was fortunate that I was able to see that. But yes, St. Louis, Missouri. I guess you pronounce it Missouri rather than Missouri. I don't know. But that's number two. Number three is back in my hometown of Washington, D.C., where I live in a suburb of. This is the Navy Memorial, very close to the Archives building, right in downtown. This is one of those pictures you really need to get the essence of seeing it from above rather than just seeing it from street level. The street, which is diagonal right below it, is Pennsylvania Avenue, which you may have heard of. If you just go down 2 blocks from there, you get to a kick-ass ice skating rink over the winter season, which really is great because you just see all these buildings around, and then just in the middle, you go ice skating. Number four, you go about 3,000 miles west of Washington, D.C., and you get to the Santa Monica Pier in Santa Monica, California. I'm a big sucker for Ferris wheels and for anything that looks like a vintage amusement park, and this is no exception. I've never been to Santa Monica Pier, but I've been to the borders in Santa Monica. So I don't know if that counts or not, but that is Santa Monica. Number five should also be a giveaway question for anybody who attended TequilaCon 08, because this is in Philadelphia. In fact, that is the Philadelphia Museum of Art. You see those steps all the way at the bottom? Those are what's called the Rocky Steps. Those are the steps that Rocky went up, and everybody else does a big run up as well. That's that museum over there. If you take a look right over here, this is where Hello Haha Nar parked her big-ass SUV illegally. Somehow, because she has the parking karma on her side, letting you know that miracles do occur in Philadelphia. Number six is the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. Number seven is the Bunker Hill Bridge in Boston. This was tricky. This bridge is a great-looking bridge. It's a cable-suspended bridge, which opened in 2003, that really affects the Boston skyline. I'm such a huge road and bridge geek, and this was one of those few beautiful bridges that have opened up recently that I just needed to put up there. So yes, Boston, Massachusetts. Number eight, that's the Air Force Memorial, also a very new addition to the DC skyline. This is in Arlington, Virginia, very close to the Pentagon. You can see those the statues are those 3 smoke trails that are supposed to be going up that represent the smoke trails of airplanes in the Air Force. Do they have smoke? I'll have to research that. And then, of course, the A4 Air Force and the runway there, too. Also a very nice memorial there. Number 9. This is what's now called Turner Field, what used to be called Centennial Olympic Park, and right next to is Fulton County Stadium, which is no longer. It's now a parking lot. Now, nowadays, you find that everybody's doing stadiums right next to their old stadiums. A Yankee Stadium, Shea Stadium, or what I guess it's going to be called Synergy Field, Citi Field, I forgot what that one is. People do that now because they realize where the real estate is. This was a little bit different. Back in 1996, they built one stadium right next to another one for a good reason. That reason was the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia, which I was able to attend the closing ceremonies for. They were absolutely amazing. But yeah, you had these two stadiums right next to each other, events going on both places all the time. And I remember doing that walk right under, I think in that case it's right under the I-85 and I-75 go there, but I'm not quite sure. Once again, something to research. Number 10 was a tough one. People thought this was someplace in Europe. This is actually in Baltimore. This is the Washington Monument right in downtown Baltimore, the corner of Center Street and Charles Street. And you might know this if you ever watch Ace of Cakes. Great TV show. I think it's on Bravo or Food Network about this guy named Duff Goldman who just makes these kick-ass cakes. And one of them was a city skyline of Baltimore. That was in there as well. So yes, that's Baltimore. It just looks very European. Number 11 was one of those that I really thought nobody would get. And I was right. This is Pier A Park in Hoboken, New Jersey. I have relatives in Hoboken. That's one of the reasons I had this here. But this is smack dab across the Hudson River from the Wall Street financial district of New York City. And I chose this because you can just really see across. It's pretty much on the same parallel to the World Trade Center site. If you take a look at that from that gazebo right in that top right, and you look across the river, you just see absolutely everything there. Just a breathtaking sight. In this picture, it looks like the Hudson River is kind of like this murky brown, and that's pretty much how it looks in real life too. Number 12, I didn't even know what number 12 was when I took the picture there. I just liked it because in the TV show Alias, you would see all these big flyovers of LA, and you just see these helipads. And number 12, they just happened to use quite a bit, and I didn't know what that was. But now we know, just from Googling it, that that is the U.S. Bank Tower in Los Angeles. Number 13 is the Brooklyn Bridge that spans between New York City, or the two New York City boroughs of Brooklyn and Manhattan, and it was also destroyed in the movie Cloverfield. I hope I didn't give too much away. But yeah, great bridge, very old bridge. You can walk across it in that elevated walkway there. You can get a really great view of everything at that point as well. I have relatives who used to live in Brooklyn, and that comes from just being Jewish. Number 14 is the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. I was able to get this picture before the Department of Homeland Security decided that this picture is unsafe because it wasn't pixelated, which they now have it pixelated in Google Maps. So I'm breaking the law by posting this, I guess. Whoops. Number 15, people said it's a street in San Francisco, which it is. This is High Street in San Francisco. You can tell from the trolley tracks. And we are uphill. If you go all the way down, it heads over to Fisherman's Wharf. And right now, this is at the this is a Google Street View image that I was able to take from Google Street View, which is an absolutely addictive tool. And just like me, I'm also an addictive tool. But this was taking a look down from the corner of High Street and Lombard Street. The reason I put this in is because right at the bottom of this, you'll find a TGI Fridays, and on our honeymoon, which we took in San Francisco, I wanted to show Socks the most crookedest street in the world, Lombard Street, and I said this is only 7 blocks away, might as well do the trip. And sure enough, I made her walk up the 7 or 8 blocks, all the way up that hill to Lombard Street, and I don't think she's forgiven me ever since. So yeah, that's why I put that in over there. You're facing the wharf, and you're all the way uphill. So that's it. These are these 15, and hopefully we'll be able to do the next 15 sometime soon.